Ulonga tabati yada to ye ko madaifa. Inu to ye ko je love baby pa. Oba tala, oba takutakun. Songo Eshu, Ogun Oya Osun. Kini ṣẹ̀ṣe tán ṣe nílé yìí o. Ó jẹ́ lọ jára.
Lafayette, peace and power, family. Welcome to another episode of the African Spiritual Experience. I am your host, Arisha Bemi, and we are back in these Ase streets with another live stream tonight, family. We have back one of the mothers of the Ase tribe back in the building tonight. I am SEG 13 is here back after a little hiatus for a little period of time, man. But we definitely back making this thing do what it do, be in what it be. So with that, without further ado, let me give a shout out to all the tribe, to all the channel members, new channel subscribers. I think we just hit 24K. Much love and appreciation, family. We just hit the Kobe number, so I appreciate y'all with the 24K, all the new subscribers, all the new channel members, all the new Patreon members. I appreciate all the love and support, family. I'm definitely working on getting this ship right and in the right direction after a lot of transformation and elevation and celebration. So with that, without further ado, I am SEG. What's good with you? How you doing? Peace and blessings. Peace and power to you.
I am fantastic. Can I ring it in?
Hey, let me just go ahead and get up out your way. You go ahead and do what you got to do. Open this thing up.
Ache to the ancestors known and unknown. You can ring my bell, ring my bell. You can ring my bell, ring my bell. Y'all remember what that song was about when they were doing that thing on TikTok? There is a wealth transfer that is happening right now, but it is not a wealth transfer of paper, digital things that you see on a screen. It is a wealth transfer of the mind of the people. What is in the mind of the people? When you remember who you are and you know what's up, you will know what to do. So I'm very excited about what we're bringing here tonight because it is that time. It is celebration time. And I hope you are celebrating. I hope you are celebrating tonight.
Yeah, boy. Celebration time. Come on. Hey.
Celebration.
Yes, sir. We ain't turned up and started getting jiggy in this thing in a little minute, man. It's been a different energy and atmosphere, based upon what's going on in the world. But we're going to definitely get jiggy tonight. We're going to get jiggy up in this thing, man. These Ase streets. Shout out to the tribe who've been reaching out via email too, family. I definitely got the emails. I did respond to a couple. There's a few more that I have to respond to, but I definitely have to set up I'm about to set up like a newsletter or some sort of campaign to where I'll be able to show or have the links to the shows being directly on the channel, because for some reason, a lot of people in the comments or even reaching out via email or text or calling or whatever are not getting the notifications for the show. So I'm not sure what that's about. I got an idea, but for whatever reason that's not happening, I'm gonna make for sure that I get the links out to everybody. I actually posted today's show on the channel as well, because there's a lot of people not receiving notifications. So with that, family, please check in with the tribe, on a daily basis, and we'll definitely be sharing the notifications. We'll also be sharing it via email, so I get that set up ASAP, so that way I can hit you directly in your email inbox and not have to worry about the platform sending out the notifications, because I don't feel like that's a coincidence. However, we know what it is. We know what it's going to be. We're going to fight through and make it happen by any and all means necessary. So with that, we got a lot to talk about, man. We got a lot to catch up on, SEG. So before we dive into this powerful topic at hand, what's been good with you? I know it's a lot of new developments. I know you got a lot of new products and services and classes and trainings, and just a lot going on, man. So I want to definitely salute you. Salute to the Sac Town in the building. Salute to Oak Town. Salute to Cali, the West Coast. Ase tribe out there, man. Shout out to you and Miss Mariana. Y'all doing y'all thing, man. So I definitely want to show love and support and gratitude for all that y'all bring to the channel, as well as the channel members as well.
I definitely want to shout out Miss Mariana, because she over there with Big Red. She got a farm with some chickens, and she is learning. She over there on trucks mowing, soiling the earth. I mean, she's doing some amazing things over there. And I also want to shout out A Future We Remember and Spirited Soul podcast and Spirited Soul Ministries. It's been an amazing hiatus because there's been a lot going on. I started the Master Vibration 13 self-healing series, Remember Who You Are. And that whole series has to do with helping people remember who they are through their chakra system, doing a marriage to self first, and then doing a honeymoon phase. And in this honeymoon phase, you are remembering the things that you love, things that you are good at from other past lives. You can thank code for them back into this lifetime. And it's a whole process. And this whole process is to get people prepared for ordination, sovereignty, claiming your stake on the land, on this earth, right? And so it is a very powerful thing that is happening because, there's a lot of people that are, existing in the chaos, and they're very afraid and they're very scared. And that is a vibrational frequency that is being sent to the people so that they do not remember, so that they cannot recall who they are, because they're afraid of people waking up, because they already know once you remember who you are, there is no forgetting, not in this lifetime. And so people are tribing up. And a tribe, it's like when you think about a tribe, a lot of people are thinking that a tribe is a huge amount of people. No, a tribe is like 3 or more. That's your tribe, right? And guess what? Like, okay, I'm saying 3 or more, and we're thinking physically, but real talk, what we're going to be talking about tonight, your tribe is you, yourself, and the creator, infinite intelligence. That's your trilogy. That's enough for you to go into the world and do your private ministry. And so what we're going to be talking about tonight is a organization or a structure. Is called a 508c1A. And the 508, it means it's a number that the IRS gave this particular structure so that it could be protected. And so I'm not even gonna, I don't even want to like say it off the rip. I want to give you specific to exactly what the 508 means and what that definition is. Okay, so a 508 means exemption. And then the 1 means mandatory. And then the A means churches. And so we're going to get into that, what churches are and what they mean, because a lot of people get it misconstrued and they have a crazy idea of what a church is or what a church means. And so I'm going to give you an example. And I know that I sound really excited because I am. I've come to the Ashe Network and I've introduced y'all to the orgone energy batteries that I create, right? So these orgone energy batteries, this is scalar technology. This is technology that's going to protect you from electromagnetic frequencies, digital pollution, negative entities, all of that, right? And so this technology had to be protected. So spirit ancestors, infinite intelligence guided me to a private ministry so that I can protect the work that I do, my intellectual property. And there's a lot of people in the world, those that have you content creators, that y'all got ideas. You got people that are starting their own communities. There's people that are doing so many different things. And so in the old system that existed, because that whole situation is dead if you did not know, but in that old system that existed, it made it impossible for people to start a business. So when I started the business of Master Vibration 13, the orgone energy batteries, we had decided to do an LLC. And so the LLC, I soon learned that an LLC, that limited liability company that you do with the powers that were, you're giving them permission to your stuff. And when I did it, we were on the path of, okay, you do your business, and then you have a religious trust, and then you have a private trust and a nonprofit, right? That's the trilogy that the 1% use. But it's going to cost you about 30 grand to do something like that, right? So we started out with the business trust, and then we did the LLC, and then all of these fees, $800, to do an LLC. This is in California. I don't know how it is in other states, but that's here in California. And then they're all up in your business. And that just rubbed me the wrong way from the gate, because I didn't like that. And so with the work and using the technology, when you're talking about scalar technology, you're talking about a technology that is protecting you from the very thing that they're putting on the planet to kind of eliminate folks. You know what I'm saying? And so it is something that gets you connected to your mind and to your organic and authentic being. So that's something that they don't wish to have. And so we knew that immediately. And so the message was to stop, right? And so I was offered and Ache to I Minister Mo from Mo Life Ministries. I was offered to go into the world of ministry. And so when I was offered to go into the world of ministry, I was like, what in all of the fucks are y'all talking about? Because I got a potty ass motherfucking mouth. And whose minister am I? That was my thought at the time over 6 years ago, right? And so I didn't give it any second thought because I was existing in a pattern that said a minister had to be, you know, in a big old church, and a minister had to, you know, have a whole congregation and, you know, all of these things. And they had to, you know, be like, you know, holier than thou. So I was like, that is not me. And so a whole year passed by. And so, and this is after going through the whole trying to get the trust done, doing all of these different things that we invested in, right? And so a year later, I think it was a year later, 2 years later, Minister Mo comes back and he says, y'all need to check this out. You need to check out, you know, what's happening with this. So I go to a service of Minister Partlow from National Noble Ministers Network out of Chicago. And when I first heard him speak and what he was speaking about, like it just rang completely different. And I felt it in my soul. And one of the things that just made so much sense was Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting its free exercise thereof. That's the First Amendment of the Constitution. And so when you think about that,
I hate that.
next question. Go ahead.
I don't want to interrupt, but that's a heavy load, man. You just dropped some really heavy knowledge and information. I was just gonna say it because I know I'm not the only person thinking this. Do you mind kind of like if you can reiterate it and say it again what that first, you know, act of Congress was, but then can you kind of break it down and dissect it a little bit for those who may not be as, you know, I would say as privy to the knowledge of law, you know what I mean? Especially when it comes to the so-called government or so-called powers that were. Please.
I'm going to break it down. I'm going to break it down. Yes. Okay. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibit his free exercise thereof. And what that means is, let's go down to the word religion, because this is something that really helped me. I thought that religion meant like, okay, Catholic, you know, Buddhist, priest, whatever, those different kind of Christianity. That's what I thought religion was. But I want to share with you. Ay, Dios mío. Ay. Hola y feliz 5 de mayo a toda la gente que celebra 5 de mayo. I said hi and happy 5 de mayo for all of our Latino ancestors and brothers and sisters that celebrate that day.
What's funny is I just had a master's class on tequila this past weekend, man. I learned a whole lot about tequila I had no idea about. And then I forgot Cinco de Mayo. I don't really celebrate, but however, for those who got their Coronas and limes and your tequilas with your salts and your limes, man, y'all turn one up for me. Look, I'm going to join in with some H2O tonight, but go ahead and turn up and have a shot for me and a couple of Coronas.
I got my H2O here in the copper cup right there. All right, yes, so what is religion? Religion, a structured system of beliefs, practices, and rituals relating to the sacred, supernatural, or divine, often involving the worship of gods or a higher power. It acts as a glue for society, providing shared values, morals, ideas, and explanations for existence, often strengthening community cohesion. Did y'all hear me? Do I need to read it again? Do I need to say it again? This is what religion is. Now listen, because I don't think it said anything about Christianity or Jesus or Buddha or nothing like that, right? It said, once again, a structured system of beliefs, practices, and rituals relating to the sacred, supernatural, or divine, often involving the worship of gods or a higher power. It acts as a glue for society, providing shared values. Microphone check, microphone check. It acts as a glue for society, providing shared values, moral codes, and explanations for existence, often strengthening community cohesion. Okay. And then I went a little bit deeper because we already know we got to go a little deeper. You go deeper. So you go to what is the etymology of the word religion. Let's take it there. Okay. So in etymology, the word religion, religar, it means to bind back or to reconnect. It suggests religion as a bond or obligation that ties humans to the divine or to another in or to one another in a community. The second meaning, to go over again, to consider carefully, scrupulous observance and careful performance of ritual or duties of religious persons. So a religious person is a person who pays careful attention to sacred text and traditional cult practices. So what that mean? How many ministers in religion already do you know? Because if you've been doing anything to service mankind, you've been doing God's work. And if you're doing God's work, that means you are ministering. That means you have all of the authority and the inalienable rights to do your ministry, not be bothered by any organization, any other government system, because when you have your private ministry, you are operating as your own government, such as the Vatican, such as the system that the powers that were, their little trickery and all the stuff that they do. It's a structure that has been created. It's a private structure. We all know, maybe we all don't know, but the United States is a corporation. It is not America, right? And so when you start recognizing the truths that exist, it is up to us now to defend and stand by the truth that we know. And so I had to go into the world of ministry because I wanted to protect my intellectual property. I didn't want anybody in my business. And mind you, this structure, this religious trust, this private organization, it is something that, one, it is absolutely nobody's business because it is private. Private does not mean secret. It just means private, right? And so you have a right to that privacy, and it is completely 100% lawful for you to have that, for you to do that. So this is something that once people recognize what it is, they don't tell other people because, nobody wants you really in their private business. But it's not anything for us to be afraid of or think that it's something. Occult means that it's just something that people is hidden. And so now this truth is not hidden anymore. So you can have a ministry doing absolutely anything that it is that you believe that you want to do, anything. You can have a ministry for that, and you could be protected by the Constitution because you have the right to do that. So I yield because I know I've been going on, and I kind of start going fast.
Nah, it's all good because everybody, the people are tapped in and tuned in. I know I am. And when you mentioned the fact that the United States of America is a corporation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you mentioned the power or the protection and the privacy of becoming your own individual spiritual corporation. To me, what I heard in my own little, mind and mind's eye and ears and all that is that if I am a person who operates out of a spiritual trust or a spiritual private corporation, am I not equal to this United States of America that is a corporation? It is not a country. And that's why they don't have a capital that used to be formerly known as the District of Columbia, which was never a damn state that was really part of America to begin with. But that's a whole nother conversation, a whole other show. Is it not the same? Mm-hmm.
A private ministry is not a corporation. It is unincorporated, and you do not register it with anybody. The only thing that you would do is you would put the necessary people on notice, but you do not register, because if you register your private ministry with any state, with any other organization, you are inviting a third party in, and you are compromising the integrity of your private ministry. So it's kind of like you're inviting somebody into your house. You don't know them. You know what I'm saying? So in order for somebody to come into my house, I got to make sure that I know who they are. They're going to follow the rules of this layer of this organization here. You know what I'm saying? And they have to, whether it's pay their dues or whatever it is that they have to do, whatever I say, because I am the ruler of my organization. And whatever I say you must do to be a member, if you want to be a member, that's what you must do. That's what the United States did with the people, but they did it unwillingly. It's like your birth certificate is a contract, and that's a contract that we were entered in without our knowing. So those of you that are operating under that contract, I'll tell you what I did. When I knew that those sons of bitches were selling me, I was like, all right, y'all want to play like that? When I became ordained, when I became officially ordained and have the power to do what God told me to do, then I conveyed every single piece of whatever they gave me that is in that capital letter name. I conveyed all that to the ministry. I own nothing. I gave all of that to the ministry. My family made sure that our birth certificates were authenticated. So we're secured party creditors. However, we didn't have all of the knowledge to know how to carry that through. We know, however, that as a secured party creditor, you were able to offset any debt. However, I got to keep it real. I didn't have those resources to know to facilitate that all the way through. So what we did is we conveyed all of the assets to the ministry. And mind you, get this. Okay, so I have a whole family. And yes, my family, officially, they become part of the ministry. However, you were born here by yourself. You're going to leave alone. Everyone needs to have their own ministry. My son has his own ministry. My daughter has his own ministry. Partner, all the partners, all the cousins, and all the people that recognize what it is, they have their own ministries, and we collaborate and we work together. But everyone has their own gifts and their own things that they must protect, that they must live by. And so everyone must know the rules and the laws of the land and how to operate in your sovereignty with your inalienable rights. And once you have that concept together and you recognize what it is, you will always know what to do. This is why it's so important to align your chakra system so that you can remember who you are. Trust me, once you remember, there's no forgetting, and you're going to know exactly what to do. And all of this is going to make complete sense to you. We've been talking about this for a while, but today is the day. It is divine timing. It is time for you to know, and you picking this up, you picking it up. Even if you don't think you picking it up, there's something inside of you that's saying, I got it. I want to know more. And if you want to know more, look up the basics of a PMA 508C1A. The basics of a PMA 508C1A. Mama Lucian is the woman that's presenting that. And she is one of the examples of someone that is in private ministry and is sharing it with her community. You can also check out, there's a woman named Zion, and she talks a lot about the private ministry. There is Don Kalam. He talks about private ministry. He has a book called Laying the Path. There's so many people that have been doing this work for a very, very long time. My collaborators and the iMinisters and I, we have been working and studying and waiting for the last 4 years to this day today to launch the system and start getting people ready. So because it's like there is no time to waste. There are people that when you talk about a trust, I want to take it back.
Well, let me, because what I did, I misspoke, but I didn't want to interrupt your wisdom. I did misspeak. What I was saying when I said the corporation, I mixed the corporation up with LLC, and saying us having a corporation with the government. But then what I meant was the private ministry being equating to the Vatican, being an individual, separate entity, a spiritual private entity like the Vatican. So I misspoke in regards to that comment and that statement. So I wanted to clear that part up. After saying you broke down the explanation of the differences between the two, which I get it, and I appreciate you sharing that with the tribe. But with that being said, though, that's what I meant was when we have our own private ministry, we are now equal to or have the same inalienable rights as the Vatican, which is one of the most powerful organizations on the planet, or one of the previously most powerful organizations on the planet, based upon the weapons of mass destructions that they have deployed in a religious format. So with that, how does one level up themselves once they have gone through all of the milestones, all the checklists, everything that is needed to get, your private ministry active and set up the proper way? Because that's one of the most important components, is making sure that it's structured and it's created and set up properly, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Once you do that, then how do you build yourself up to be able to equate the power or the privacy and the ability to move truly freely as a private spiritual ministry entity?
You study, you experience the life as a minister. And so you embody the life of a minister. And so you have to walk that path. And so at mastervibration13.com, that is why we have set it up. So mastervibration13.com helps you so that you can find yourself, recognize your inner body, recognize your spiritual self, recognize who you are, remember who you are, and then you're going to be guided to the next steps of your ministry. If you already know what it is and you know who you are and you want to jump right into getting ordained, there is still a process. Because see, here's the thing. There's a lot of people that are able to do this contract of faith-based organization. But in my heart and in my soul and in my mind, Spirit put it on me to make sure that the people that got ordained through Infinite Ministries had the knowledge to, not just the knowledge, but also had the capacity to grow their ministries, to financially support their ministries. So at Infinite Ministries and Master Vibration 13, we teach people the science of creating orgone energy batteries, because everybody needs orgone energy batteries. It is a very powerful tool. It is a tool that's going to protect you in so many ways. And so we teach you the science to ensure that your private ministry is going to make it in this world. You know what I'm saying? But look, even you won't, the orgone energy battery is going to support you and it's going to help you, but it's going to help you in so many ways because you have so many gifts. You don't have to do what I did. You know what I'm saying? The orgone energy battery is going to help you remember, and you're going to be like, hold up, I got this gift and that gift, and I know how to do this and I know how to do that. However, the gift of knowing how to do this formula of orgone energy batteries will be available to you as well, because that's what we want to ensure and make sure that the people that are stepping into this world, you know what I'm saying? It's like you got a way to go. You got something to move into, something to move with. And so we also make sure that you're represented in our community. And so that all of the things that we're doing, when you get ready to do it, you can do it too on the platform. And we will support you just like we support each other all the time. Because the whole thing is like, people think that the wealth is that money is something outside of you, but we're the money. And the way that we liquidate our assets as infinionaires is through our gifts. So as an infinionaire, I'm an infinionaire. It don't matter now one single bit what a bank account says. I don't care what that bank account says. Silver, gold, that's the real money. But outside of silver and gold, if there was not a human being to mine it, there will be no gold. There will be no value of anything at all. So who's the true money? We are the true currency of the planet. And when we know it, Every day you make it like magic, miracles. Miracles and magic should not be something that happens just once in a while. It is who we are. When you are a direct extension of source, there's nothing that you can't do, be, or have. Only your mind keeps you from it. If you think that you ain't shit, then that's what it's gonna be. If you think that you broke, hello broke. If that's and I'm not talking about what you say with your mouth. I'm talking about what you say with your vibrational frequency, which is the language of infinite intelligence. So if what you're saying, if what your body is vibrating is on a low frequency, everything that you create in your life, everything that manifests around you is going to be on a low vibrational frequency. And so when you are under attack and you don't allow that low vibrational frequency to get you down and make you feel like something that you are not, and you rise above that, then now you create a higher vibrational frequency that is going to match exactly what it's doing right now. Right now, I am creating my abundance right now. Right now in this moment, because right now is the only thing that matters. And right now is what creates the future. And this is why you have to be present in your moment right now, in your mind right now. You can't be focused on what somebody's doing that's so-called hurting you because you saw it on TV or the news said this or the Trump man is doing this or that or the other. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if it is not something that is affecting your world, you better make your world yours. This is the experience of an infinionaire, right? So my world is what is in here and what I can affect. And I know what I am operating in my subconscious mind because of what it looks like out there. And what it looks like out there in my world, I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven. Yep, yes, I am. I surely am. I yield. I'm excited, y'all.
When you said whose world you live in there, all I heard was Nas. Whose world is this? The world is yours. The world is yours. It's mine. It's mine. It's mine. Whose world is this? The world is yours. Shout out to Nas Escobar. Nas doing his thing, but yeah, that's powerful. And you know, before we go back into the ministry thing, I did want to bring up. I'm glad you said everything you said because it triggered something in me about a conversation that we had. It was a little while ago now, off air, but it was about those attacks, you know, about the attacks spiritually and about, you know, how we're being attacked in so many different ways, you know. And I got a few shows that I'm working on that'll be solo shows, but just from like a real educational aspect, kind of like mini documentary type videos I'm gonna be putting out soon, because there's a lot of shit going on right now that's like extremely important that I'm not sure how many people are aware of. One of which is the amount of water that is being utilized by this damn AI in order to power up these data centers is crazy. Like, it's literally droughts all over America, and I'm sure it's probably happening in all other parts in the world. But the fact that they're feeding so much water into this AI is unbelievable. I mean, literally unbelievable. But then also the things that are being fed into the skies, the things that are being fed into the waters, the things that are being emitted from these damn technical, you know what I'm saying, technology devices and all that stuff is attacks, literally. It's attacking mind, body, and soul. It's all attacking them same chakras that you said we needed to align with in order to tap into the universal or the universal consciousness. You know what I mean? So it's like, where would you recommend us, the people who are being inundated by all these attacks that are feeling it, the people who don't have the mental capacity to wake up in the morning, the people who don't have the mental capacity to go to the gym in the morning, the people who don't have the mental capacity, some people might be on the verge of saying, fuck it all, and you know what I'm saying, and just tapping out. And I hate to say that, but it's real, and I'm seeing it all over, you know what I'm saying, the internet and in real life, where people are just, they folding and collapsing like, you know what, fuck it, I'd rather just check out than to live under all these attacks and all this duress and all this stress. So being that I know you've had your own challenges and battles with, you know what I'm saying, fighting with these attacks. I know I damn sure have had my own battles, you know, and challenges with fighting these attacks. How do you give, or how would you advise those who are watching or who will catch the replay, those who are on the stream, ways and tools and tips that they can utilize the power within or whatever other assets that you feel like we have in order to combat all of these attacks that are coming from so many different angles while we're here on this planet in this particular day and time?
The first thing that I can offer is your Earth Star chakra, which is 6 inches below your feet, and for you to go outside and ground your feet naked on the earth. Hug a tree, climb a tree, lean against a tree, touch a tree, talk to a tree. Nature is the answer because it is who and what we are. And in order to connect with source, there's so many illusions and so many lies and so many things that are going on in the world. Words, you can't connect to that. It's not about the words, it's about the vibration. And so you get that through nature. Go to the ocean, go to the rivers, go to the lakes. And if the only thing that you could do is get the water in your sink, you go to the water under your sink and you talk to that water. And you ask that water to assist you. And trust me, the water listens. The water knows. The water is like a liquid crystal. And so when you have the crystals and you connect with this high vibrational energy, just touching it starts working on you immediately. And so you can go to your local mineral store. You don't have to buy anything. You just go in there and start touching stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like, don't allow for any kind of financial difficulties to keep you from your healing, because it's all within you. It's 100% within you. And the moment you start seeing that and recognizing that, everything will start to show up. Gratitude is your main tool. Okay. So what I speak to people about is creating gratitude and that sense of gratitude in a way that you could really feel it. And the quickest way to do it is hold your breath. Just hold your breath for as long as you can hold it. And think about what happens if you can't breathe again, right? That's it. You're on the other side without that breath. Is the most simple thing. And one of the things that we take for granted oh so much is the breath. And so when we start with the gratitude for the breath, that leads us into a whole nother energy, because we could recognize we created that vibration by holding our breath and recognizing the severity of what happens. So then that means that the gratitude for, that becomes that much higher. And so now just having gratitude for your breath is the only thing that you need to start moving it. Your gratitude for your breath. Look, my fingers can move. I'm grateful for my fingers. Oh, I could see. I'm grateful for my sight. I'm grateful for my skin. I'm grateful for my movement. I'm grateful for my home. I'm grateful for that I have feet. You know what I'm saying? That I got toes. I'm grateful. I mean, it starts a whole array of gratitude, and that energy, that vibrational frequency of gratitude starts sending the frequency to infinite intelligence and start sending you back, because you're a magnet, start sending you back other things that match the vibrational frequency that you sent up. So it starts giving you other things to be grateful for. And that is the power that you have right now. Because these things are amazing. But guess what? This is inside of you. Orgone energy technology is inside of you. The reason why we need it in this form is because they're overloading us with technology, with chemtrails, with all of the stuff, the air, the television, the sounds, all of that. So we absolutely need the tools. But when we recognize that the tools come from within us, we start from there first, and we're going to have the answers to everything. We're going to have the answers to everything we need. It's not a game. I'm not talking to you from a place of not knowing. I'm talking to you from a place of experience. I am the evidence of what I talk about. Ache, I yield.
I say. So with the wealth transfer, I know you tapped into that earlier with one of your answer responses. But when it comes to the wealth transfer, I know of a different type of wealth transfer that's pretty much based upon the people. I'm not sure what their generation is, but like the elder generation of people who are dying out, they're usually of European descent. They're in their 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever, that are dying out, and there's a massive, and I mean a massive wealth transfer in the business sector. You know what I'm saying? So it's like for those who, I'm not sure how many people in the tribe are tapped into this thing called mergers and acquisitions, but that's something that I've been a part of for a little while. And I know that in the mergers and acquisition space, there are more businesses out there for sale than there are people out there, investors out there to buy these businesses. And a lot of these businesses are very lucrative. They're generating millions of dollars of revenue every single year. The children of these people who are dying out don't want nothing to do with the businesses. They are literally like, F them businesses. We don't want nothing to do with it. We're going to keep doing whatever the hell we doing. A lot of them are doing whatever. But there is a massive wealth transfer happening in the currency. Even if the currency is not the same, it doesn't, you know what I'm saying, calculate the same, or is it's in a different format, it ain't paper no more, whatever, digital, however you want to call it. Shout out to Mike Lee, been dropping some bombs in the comments, but spoke about the transfer of currency. So yes, whichever way it transfers, that's cool. But I want to know, this wealth transfer is bigger than just spiritually, because also monetarily and financially, it's also a huge transfer that's happening right now, and the biggest wealth transfer that's probably ever happened on this planet once wealth was used in the system, monetary system that it's used now. So how can we tie in the ability to tap into the wealth transfer from a financial, monetary aspect, but then also I feel like there's definitely got to be a deeply spiritual way to like tie that in together and couple that with the operating as a private ministry?
Ache, it is definitely all tied in. I want to give Ache and thanks to Minister Mike Lee of Solution Ministries. He was actually my study partner in regards to what we're doing with Infinity Ministries and all of these things. Okay, so the wealth transfer is happening in several ways. The first way that I will tell you is that, you know, the people of the Epstein files and all of these things and all of these people that have been doing nasty ass shit, right? Well, those people, even though you're not seeing, you know, a lot of things in the front because the Rome is falling, you know what I'm saying? Their empire is falling, so they're not going to show you the stuff that they're done, right? So they're not going to show you everything that's going on. So all of the monies that they have acquired has to go back to the people. Dirty money is going all back to its original owners. The people, the backs who it was on is going back to the people. There are different things in the world that are operating, not just your private ministries. You got Jacera Nasera, you got all of these different things. You got private organizations that are building communities because they have made private investments in other countries. Meaning 30 years ago, let's go back to some history. Oh, first I'll say this. The first thing that you should do, that everyone should do, is watch a video called The Hidden Secrets of Money by Mike Malone. That is one of the prerequisite videos that you have to watch before becoming an Infinity Ministers. You must watch this video. It's like a 26-minute video. Mike Malone, the Hidden Secrets of Money. Okay. And so after you watch that, if you're able to get you some silver and gold, definitely get silver and gold. Now I'm going to lean to silver only because silver right now, I'm going to say silver is about $75 right now. When Infinity Ministries started investing in silver, it was $14. And so these coins, these metals, that's proper money, that's real money. And so when you have a ministry, you're able to purchase those things and then you convey them to the ministry, or your ministry could purchase it, could invest in it. But so that's another way. Another way, and right now silver is like $75. So if you have a little less than that, for $60 you can purchase a note of Iraqi dinar. I believe it's a $25,000 note of Iraqi dinar. I'm Minister Solution. You can put that in the chat and see if I'm correct in that. But okay, so, and this is what we would call a foreign currency. And this is what people are doing because the dollar is falling. If you haven't noticed it, a lot of people think, oh, inflation is going up. No, that's just saying that our dollar is falling. And there are a whole bunch of countries that are not fooling with the dollar no more. And so what does that now the value is going down? So what you must do, well, I'm not saying what anybody should do because I don't like to tell people what to do, but a smart thing to do is to take whatever fiat notes you have available that you have maybe in your savings and invest it in assets that are not lowering, right? So Iraqi dinar, that's the currency. That's the Vietnamese dong. All of these other currencies, you got to do what the 1% do. Matter of fact, Donald Trump, the president that everybody's so mad at, he invested he's got trillions. Why don't he probably got trillions of the Iraqi dinar notes, the Iraqi dinar money. And 30 years ago, going back to the history, Kuwait, there was a war that happened in Kuwait, and Kuwait's money was devalued. Kuwait's money, Kuwait's dollar right now is about $3.84. You could look it up yourself because I didn't look at it today. But it's about $3.84. Oh, matter of fact, I want to say it's $3.24 because it did go down. So $3.24 for one Kuwaiti dinar, while the Iraqi dinar, which the country is right next to Kuwait and Iraq are right together. And so the value of the country of Kuwait, of Iraq, is equivalent to Kuwait. But because of the things that the United States did, they went and did the war. If you watch the Hidden Secrets of Money, that's going to give you the 411 on that. And so they go and they cause war, and then they take all the everything away, and then they rebuild, and then they take all the money. That's just a system that they've been doing for like ever. And so now that it's going to happen, and it's been happening in the country of Iraq. And so the people that are holding on to Iraqi dinar, once that happens and it revalues, then you're going to be able to exchange it just like any other investment. You'll exchange it. There's some people that call it a scam, that say that it's not good and blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna tell you like this, right? I am going to take a chance on $60 going into turning into $25,000, then I'm going to take the chance and not doing it at all. So I gives nothing, no F's at all about what people say, what people believe, what people think is going to happen, what people know, what they don't know. I trust my sources, and I trust history, and I trust cycles, and I trust patterns, and I know exactly what time it is. And we are in the age of Aquarius. We are in the golden age. It is already existing, but you must align with it so that you could recognize it. If you don't align with it, you could lead a horse to water, but you can't make that motherfucker drink. So there is no time to be wasted on people that don't get it and don't understand. That just means that you are not in the vibrational frequency to receive the information. But when you're spending time trying to negate something that somebody else is doing, you're wasting time out of your life, because the ones that truly know give no cares of what anybody says, because we recognize what time it is and we're acting accordingly. The last shall be first, and it is now our time to get into that position of first place. Are you with me?
The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Yeah, sounds about right to me. We got some questions in the comments that I wanted to get to, because I definitely wanted to go a lot longer tonight than I'm able to, but we're gonna make up for that on another one in the very near future. But before we get about this thing, I wanted to bring forward a few questions. First and foremost, shout out to Queen Mother Teresa. I just looked it up. The Hidden Secrets of Money is a documentary that has 10 episodes. I appreciate you, family. Definitely look forward to checking that out and tapping into it. And then Brother Mike Lee said Warren Buffett announced long ago to invest in foreign currencies, and that was a very intelligent move about 2 years ago. And so I definitely think that's a very wise investment to make, because the dollar's dead, and it's only going, you know what I'm saying, just start to, erode, and the mold and the parasites and all are going to be eating it all up. But in the meantime, we're just going to watch the transfer, because it's already transferring from paper dollars to digital, and then of course it's got to go back to the gold standard, the minerals. So that's where it's going. But with that, a couple good questions.
There's something really important that I have to say, because the world is going to that digital currency. That's why it's important for you to have other assets, because if you don't want to participate in that matrix that is always going to exist, it's just up to you whether you're going to participate in it or not. You have to protect yourself by having other assets, crystals, metals, stones, gifts, tablets, and stuff, and have it under your private ministry so that you could protect yourself from that overreach, those people being all up in your business. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's now. You got to
Yeah.
get that now.
Yeah. But the one thing that I definitely have an eyebrow raised to, and I know for a fact there's going to be a lot of it's going to be a lot of chaos, and it's going to be a lot of dark or underworld mob shit that's going to happen when that does take place. Because you think about it, anything that has to do with technology, that has to do with the internet, let's just say a blackout happens. There's no power. You don't have power. You can't access the internet. You can't access the internet. How do you access your currency? You know what I mean? And then you got the hackers. You got some of the hackers who are the creme de la creme of hackers that can hack into anything. You mean to tell me that there's going to be keys? I know they got the, different types of keys and the different types of, locks and so-called safety measures. But I know for a fact, a true hacker, a person that that's what they do, they can get into anything. So where is the real sense of security when it comes to this digital currency? Now, don't get it twisted. The banks can be robbed and are robbed, and you know what I mean? Like there's always corruption and some sort of distortion in every aspect of this whole monetary banking system, especially because it was created by them. So now where do we see any sort of protection or any sort of leverage on how to be able to have a real stronghold on protecting a so-called digital asset or currency?
The great alma mama is your first line of protection. I will say that. And the only protection against a digital currency is to have an asset that you can have in your hand. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. And in this world of they're trying everything that they can to try to get ahead of natural law and what's happening on the universe and in the planet. That's how come this spiritual, it is the marriage of the spiritual and the physical. And that's why the wealth transfer must happen. And people are going to experience this divine abundance and wealth, this physical wealth, this infinite wealth. They're going to experience that because it has been written. It is so. And that's where we're going into now, the next 100 years, right? And so they're gripping at straws. They are trying to do whatever they can to scare people and to keep the control. And so the reason why they're able to have control of people is because when people are asleep and they don't know who they are, then it's easy for them to be scared. And they're like, all right, you my daddy, go on and take care of me, daddy, because, the United States is the biggest pimp in the world. And some people don't mind being hoes. You know what I mean? And that's okay if that's what they want to do. But there's a whole new structure of existing that is upon us right now in this very moment. And those that are ready to jump on, you feel it, you know it. And those that don't get it, then it's just not your time. Don't worry about it. Experience life and enjoy it as much as you can. If it's for you, you'll come back around.
So you said they are the biggest pimps in the world.
They
And
are.
some people don't mind being hoes. What about the people that don't know they hoes? Because some people might not know they're hoes.
Here's the thing, Baba Orisha Bemi Jagun, is that everybody, when they came through that birth canal in this lifetime, those injections and stuff that they got, they were created to forget. However, our systems are created in such a divine form that all we have to do is choose to remember so that we could remember. When you sit in your space and you just say, Most High God, Allah, Dios, even Jesus, whatever it is that you want to call, help me so that I could remember who I am. And you will immediately start getting information on how to move. There is no reason to be afraid when you know who you are. And so the people that don't remember, it's not up to you to try to force somebody awake, to try to make somebody remember. That's not your responsibility. Everybody has their own experiences, right? And it is up to everybody to follow the path of their own life. And I know that in a time where it's so chaotic and you love people, you want to help the ones you love and you got information and you want to say, hey, look at this because this is good. And those people that you're saying it to are going to be like, oh, no, that's crazy. Oh, you stupid, or you're doing this, you're doing that. There's no time for that right now. The best that you can do, love them from afar. I love you and I send the highest vibrations to you. I'm on my path. because this is what I know, this is what I feel, this is what I trust, and this is what I'm going with, right? All of those demonic energies, and they're not, it's not to, you know, say anything about your family and your friends and stuff, but demonic entities, spiritual entities that possess people's bodies when they're in fear, that is real stuff. And when they come upon you, when you got somebody else saying, oh, don't do this, don't get better in your life, stay here with me and stay in this low vibrational frequency because I'm more comfortable with you being here. So if you're ready for this walk, you got to be ready to be with yourself. You got to be ready to take that leap of faith with yourself and trust that your tribe is always going to show up. It is not an easy path. You know what I'm saying? This is, we're not in that era where it's just like, oh yeah, here, pay this money and do this and you can become that. Look, if you don't know what a minister is in truth, you can never be one. If you can't stand on it without any kind of paperwork, ain't no kind of paperwork that's going to help you. It is in your mind and in your heart. And when it's time for you to know that truth, you will get it and it will never escape you. You can't save anybody but you. You are that Jesus that everybody been waiting for, that rapture that people been thinking that it's going to look like people going to be flying to the sky. We are in the midst of the rapture right now. Enjoy it, baby. Enjoy it. Jesus, where you at? Pull out a mirror. Put out a mirror and you will find that Christ consciousness lives inside of you. It was in you before you even came into this realm. So don't feel sorry for the people that don't remember because they're going to have some time to remember. They might have to come back a few times. You did. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's going to have their chance. Don't worry. Enjoy your life. It's a celebration.
Black Jesus. Shout out to the Outlaws and the great Tupac Amaru Shakur. And that song Black Jesus on the Outlaws album is dope. So yeah, y'all check that out if you ain't never heard the song Black Jesus with Pac and the Outlaws. Dope song. And then shout out to MJ. Do you remember the time when we fell? Okay, so yeah, so Mike, you know, shout out to Mike and his movies doing big things in the theaters right now. But I feel like, and this is on my spirit because this is something that it's been a common theme, like in my calls with clients that I do one-on-one coaching with, and it's like when we reach any level of success, and mind you, I'm sure a lot of the audience members, a lot of the tribe who are listening, I know for a fact you've dealt with it, and I ain't never asked you, but I know you have because I know your journey. When we accomplish or reach any amount of success, it could be like itty bitty amount of success. I don't give a damn if you got straight A's in school and you made principal's honor roll. There's going to be some people who's not happy to see you getting that win. There's going to be people who are not going to be happy to see you climb to the next level, to elevate, to rise, to, you know what I'm saying, walk in your path and in your truth, into your glory, into your success. So one thing that I know, and I feel like you would be a great person amongst a few others, I think, to collaborate on this, is to create a safe space for whether it's new ministers, new ministries, new entrepreneurs, new, whatever the case may be, people who are new into the service industry or new into the business industry, or people who are seasoned veterans, about how to deal with those around you who don't want to see you win. Because that's a real thing. There are people that I know for a fact that are in marriages that the spouse don't want to see them successful and level up and win. There are people that have siblings who don't want to see their other sibling be successful and level up. There are people who have parents that don't want to see the people that they birthed to level up and be successful. That is a very, very pissy place to be when you're living in your purpose and you're walking in your truth, but yet the ones who you feel like you would think would be rooting for you absolutely are rooting against you. And then how do you keep your, not just your sanity, but how do you keep your integrity, and how do you keep your focus on still leveling up and rising to the occasion to do what you were born to do, when you know the people who you probably are inspired to do it for might not be rooting for you? Where would you share your wisdom with anyone who may be dealing with such a feat?
Microphone check, 1 2 1 2. The easiest way is to go away, leave, get away from anyone that is trying to taint your mission and where it is that you want to go in life. It is like poison. It is an entity that will stick on you, that will keep you like the crabs in a barrel situation. So that's the first thing, right? That's like an easy one. But the other one that is really important to be able to do, sometimes you can't get away. Sometimes you're in situations where you have to be with those family members. So what you have to do is you have to set boundaries, and you have to set boundaries for where you are, and respect and create lines that cannot be crossed, so that there could still be some community and, respectful communication among the community. You have to be able to align your energy center so that you can manage them. Because if somebody tries to trigger you, triggers are usually going to affect in the root chakra. They're going to make you angry. They're going to make you agitated. They're going to make you feel uncomfortable. And so if you know that your root chakra can get agitated if somebody does whatever, then you know that you're going to have to ground more, and you're going to have to do more work on that. So when somebody says something to you, it's not affecting you. You have to learn how to stand in your square. It doesn't matter what anybody else believes or what anybody else thinks. If you're grounded in what you know, then you have safety in that. But you got to know it. If you're not grounded in what you know, somebody says something, you have to ask the question, why is what they're saying or what they're doing irritating me? If I already know who I am and I already know what my life is about, why am I allowing someone else to drag me into their world, into their vibrational frequencies? Two MCs can't exist in the same place at the same time. It's against the laws of physics. Ache to Lauryn Hill. It's the same thing. It's physics. If you are in a vibrational frequency and your husband or your wife does not match that frequency, that relationship is not going to be able to survive. If you are not in the same vibrational frequency with anybody, your mother, your daughter, your sister, your brother, you will not be able to exist together, and it will turn into a chaotic mess of fighting, somebody trying to get the other to see what the other sees and whatever. And you know what that creates? Just the vibrational frequency of low. Infinite intelligence is not saying, oh, well, this person is right and this person is wrong. Infinite intelligence is saying, oh, this is the vibrational frequency that they're creating together. It's low vibrational frequency because they're fighting. Let's give them more of that. So it is absolutely detrimental for you to stay among the people in which you match their vibrational frequency. If they do not match, it does not matter who they are. My family, the family that I have today, is the family that I created and is my soul family, because my blood family, my mother, sisters, I don't have any brothers left, but we're not on the same vibrational frequency. And it's not that they're wrong in whatever decisions that they make. We're just not on the same frequency. We don't believe the same things. And I believe that every world is available. So my world is what it is, and my world exists just like their world exists. I ain't trying to be in that world, so I stay in mine. But I respect them, and I respect their journey and their experience. I pray for them. I send love. You know what I'm saying? I try to not pray for them too much, because who they think that I am, my prayers would not be received. So I just send love, because we don't want to cross boundaries, spiritual boundaries. I chat to Lori Blanchard and her spiritual boundaries workshops. This is something that is important for us to know now. And there's so many things that are available now, like this spiritual boundaries workshop that I did through Spirited Soul. It was talking about like how some people, they think that just because you're Baptist and you talk to Jesus, oh, Jesus told me to tell you. Well, shit, Jesus didn't tell you nothing about me, because the Spirit got something to say. They're going to say it to me directly. And people like to use that power to be like, oh, well, I'm the minister of the church, and the Lord told me that you need to get on your knees and pay all of your bills, pay all of the congregation, all your money. That's what the Lord said.
Tithes. The Lord said you got to pay them tithes. Well, I don't care if you got to get it wrong, you got to pay them tithes.
And that's just not the way. And that's why it's so important for us to know ourselves, so that we can discern the truth from the bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And thank you to all of the viewers today, the Ache family. I love you guys so much. I love you guys so much. The African Spirituality Network. You guys are amazing. So thank you. Thank you, Orisha Bemi, for having me here. You have been a tremendous effect to the work that I do. And so I just want to say this, give this, well, it's not a shameless plug because that would be plugging me. I want to plug the Ashe Network. And I want to say that I know that the Ashe Network is going into their next layer of helping the community with advertisement and different things like that. As a business owner, as an independent private minister, my business grew exponentially through the appearances that I've had here on the network, through the community that has been built here on this network. I have even connected with people physically here from the Ashe Network here in the Sacramento area. And I think that that's just the most amazing thing and the most powerful thing. And I also want to give a shout out to the family in Tallahassee, Florida. Ache to the Ansleys in Tallahassee. You are very much in high vibrational energy with us and all our families in Tallahassee, Puerto Rico, all over the world. Ache. This network is a global network, and I recommend anyone who can to connect with Orisha Bemi and make your contributions to continue to see this platform growing, because it needs your support so that it can continue to do what it does. And look, I'm gonna tell it to you right now, Ache, anyone that comes to the work, we're taking in 13 people to study for their ministry with us. Only 13, because we need for the classes to be small. We want you to get it. We want you to recognize what it is, and we want you to be ready. So we're taking 13 people. I already have 5. So if you want to get in on this, go ahead and make a connection. My number is 818-233-5776. That's 818-233-5776. You can also go to mastervibration13.com. That's my private member association community. That's how I get to talk to you if you're part of that community. So mastervibration13.com. When you join, make sure that you put that you came from the Ashe Network, because everyone that gets into their private ministry with Infinite Ministries, a contribution goes right back to the Ashe Network's ministry. So this is how we work together. So he helps us, we help him, we help you, we help each other, and we are winning in full celebration, because it is that time, beautiful people. It is our turn. It is our turn. Ache.
Ashe. Oh, yeah, man. And look, it's because I take pride in being a person who don't, operate in ego and animosity and all the bullshit. Like you've been blessed to meet some of the tribe before I got to meet some of the tribe, boy. But hey, we're gonna get that cooking though sometime later in the summer. I actually got the information that I said I had to get back with you on in regards to making that West Coast swing, man. So I'm gonna definitely get with you off here in regards to that, because I did get the clarity that I needed in order to set that thing up in stone. But I definitely look forward to seeing, and meeting the Sacktown family out there in the West Coast. I look forward to meeting the Oaktown family, all those out there in the California, in Vegas, Arizona, AZ. Like it's tribe members all over the globe, for real. And then, like I said, we just hit 24K. So I appreciate all y'all. There's 1,000 subscribers for every hour in a day, but we hit 24K. So I got to give nothing but love and thanks and gratitude to everybody who is supporting and subscribing to the channel. I know for a fact that there's probably like 60 or 80,000 more that's not subscribed. So if you don't mind subscribing to the channel, family, it's free. It ain't gonna cost you nothing but one boop, hit the button, because it helps us to put the channel and put the information out in the algorithms. And shout out to our brother, I can't remember his name, sent me an email because he hasn't been seeing the links for the shows and hasn't been seeing, the streams that's been coming. So there's a lot going on why people aren't seeing. I'm not quite sure, but I'm gonna do my best to make sure I put it out there in a lot more avenues on social media, the email campaigns, et cetera, so we can make sure we get everybody tuned in and tapped in with the channel, man, and the newest developments. But I'm looking forward to getting out there to the West Coast. I'm looking forward to getting with you and Miss Mariana, and the whole Sacktown tribe, as well as, like I said, everybody else in the surrounding areas too.
There's one more important thing that I really wanted to mention. There is a new board. There is a cannabis equity board here in Sacramento. I am part of this board. I'm participating with them to assist organic cannabis grower to be able to grow their cannabis without any disruption of any system that is going to taint and is going to poison the herbs. Ache.
Ashe. And look, I want to get with you on that too, man, to see if there's any way I can work something out to get them either on here or to even like advertise and promote with the tribe, because
I
there's
got
because there's a lot, there's a lot going on with these stores, and they're not, they're not selling the organic or the the cannabis that has the true properties that they were decades ago, and that's the reason why it's being monetized, because they figured out a way that they can fuck it up like they do everything else, the food, the water, the air, et cetera, et cetera. Excuse my French, but that's what they're doing. And then, you know what I'm saying? So that's why now it's legal, because they can get their cut out of it. So yeah, I definitely would love to,
and they can
rock with.
poison.
Yeah. I mean,
You're gonna love this guest, because this guest, her name is Zion, and she owns Queen Sheba restaurant here in Sacramento. She is the creator of this board of this equity board, and she is the place where Miss Mariana holds the women's wellness every month. So she would love to come up here. I know that she will share with you many things about entrepreneurship and just some happening with the Cannabis Equity Group and all of these amazing things that are happening with so
we need to line that up ASAP, expeditiously. And then I got a couple more that you already set me up with that I got to get to, so I'm gonna leave that alone. I don't want to get myself beat up on air, but I'm working on it. There's been a major transformation, and as a matter of fact, I'm working on getting my studio set up too, man, because I like how you be having the different views and the different angles, you know what I'm saying? So I'm working on mine, man. This one ain't even set up how I want it yet, but I'm working on it, because shout out to all the entrepreneurs out there, or the content creators, or those who are looking to get into content creation. I do have a community that I'll be starting in the near future. I'm not going to put a date on it just yet, because I got to get some of these other things taken care of and buttoned up before. But I have been working with clients one-on-one, and I got like maybe 3 or 4 clients that I'm working on with marketing their brands, their businesses, and creating content, especially when it comes to YouTube channels. So if anybody's interested in doing that before the actual community launches, I am taking clients one-on-one for that. And everybody who's joining as an individual one-on-one client will also get exclusive prior to officially publicly launching community group calls and content coaching as well. So if anybody's interested in that, as far as starting your YouTube channel or marketing or branding yourself or your business, taking it to the next level, holla at your boy, because I am working with people one-on-one in regards to that type of content coaching and consultation. So with that, I'll share the link if y'all want to hit me with via email in order to tap in with it before, like I said, the official launch. But you know what I am going to do, and I'm going to drop the plant the seed. I am doing a beta test run with a small group as well. I think I'm going to stick to about 11 or 12. I don't want to go over that, because I want to make sure that everybody that's in the initial beta testing is actually doing, you know what I'm saying, like the numbers and putting the plans to work. So that way, people can see. But I do have a few people who are already doing their thing with it, but I want to see a group of people be able to take, the content creation to the next level. And I got a lot that I can't wait to share with, everybody who's interested in learning more about content creation and branding. Because one thing I'll say real quick, family, is like, people on YouTube have known me for 2 years. As far as this channel, we just hit 2 years old, but I've been doing this work for well over 10. I started doing it in real life, in 2016. So I have a plethora, humbly speaking, of experience of doing this from the elementary school level through middle school, high school, college, and in the corporate boardroom level. So it's something that I've been doing for 10 years strong. I've just been doing it online for 2 years. So with that, I got a lot of information, a lot of, that I want to share with the tribe. So look forward to everybody who wants to sign up. Shout out to my brother, Emperor True YouTube, brother. I got to get with you. I was able to get a hold of your emails, and so I just need to get with you to figure out where you want to go with it. So I'll get with you off air on that as well, brother. So I appreciate you coming through, and don't ever worry about being late. We appreciate you here. You got here in divine time, just in time for me to give you the shout out that I meant to give you earlier. So I'm glad you was here to hear it, man. So I appreciate you, and look for my email, bro. By tomorrow, sometime tomorrow, you definitely get my response to your email, brother. Did you have anything you want to leave with the tribe on the way out, SEG?
I just want to say thank you all so much. I didn't want to. I have a little niece that I don't know if her mom is having her watch. I had said some cuss words, but I chatted to Azizi, Azirica, and to the Phillips and the Lees and to the Higginbottoms and all of the people that support us. Thank you so much. We're doing fantastic over here on this side. You want to get with us? You know what to do. Ache. Thank you once again, the Ache Network, for having me.
Already, you already know. And listen, and I give gratitude and thanks too for all the new watchers, new listeners, new audience members. Y'all love us with grace. I'm not perfect. I never will be, but you know, I'm working on every day being better tomorrow than I am today, and being better today than I was yesterday. So sometimes I do let some F-bombs and some things out, but that's the passion. I speak with passion as if I'm Black Jesus Christ. I got to speak with the passion. So, you know, with that being said, man, I definitely appreciate everybody. And so please just kind of, if you don't mind creating your own little, say to block out the few little expletives that might slip out, but I promise you it all comes from a place of passion, man. That's what it's all about. So, but I'm still working on it. Yes, sir. All right. So I appreciate you, family. Appreciate you, SEG. I'll definitely be in touch in the very near future for us to line up the next one and to get some of those other things in alignment so we can start to get, the promos and the good shows going to kind of bring that to the people as well. Congratulations with your Remember Who You Are training program, as well as the new ministry program that's coming up. I look forward to being a part of it in any way, shape, form, or fashion, because that's what we do over here in these Ase streets. And as well as business owners, if you want to get airtime and promotional packages for your businesses that I can share on the channel that I will edit in personally into the show, so that way nobody's skipping it. You're going to be guaranteed to get your business or your products or services on the show as well for promo and advertisements. So with that, I give gratitude and thanks to SEG, the whole West Side Connection. Shout out to Miss Mariana, Big Red, Segment, the whole tribe and crew over there. Shout out to brother Amadeus Christ. So yeah, I definitely look forward, man, to building with the West Side in the very near future. So with that, I appreciate all the love and support, family. We'll see y'all on the next episode. We're out. Peace.
Ẹni tó gbàgbé ilé ṣàpò ìyàgbọ́ tẹ́ǹtì ẹni takísà ní tàtàn ò bá padà sílé anítìjàkọ ẹja lọ pé eégún mo sí ẹni gbẹ́rẹ́ ìpàkọ́. Forsake not your ancestors and praise your